Good morning. My name's Arelia Taveras, and welcome to my living room. Nothing fancy here, and welcome to Recovery. This is a 52-part web series that I'm commencing every Sunday. Today is April 14th, 2013, and if you are watching this series, you're ready to take that next step towards recovery. In this series, we will be dealing with acceptance, forgiveness, self confidence, strength, spirituality, treatment, solidarity, patience, understanding, and overcoming. And I think of all of these, spirituality is probably the one that's going to get you through all of this, because without God, we cannot survive these illnesses and these bad behaviors without some sort of model, and I believe that model was Jesus Christ. Um, let's start with my first, a very brief overview of all the topics that we will be covering. The first one is acceptance. If you're watching this, you have accepted that you have a problem. You have accepted that the problems that this addiction has caused you or have caused you are so overwhelming that you cannot handle this by yourself, that you need help. And for me, it was very difficult. I mean, for me to accept my addiction, I had to be picked up in a Vegas casino by a very close friend and dropped off at a treatment facility. And I still didn't get it. So, I mean, everyone has their level of tolerance. I guess my consequences were so deadly that I had to reach a point where I would accept that if I continued gambling, which was my addiction, I would destroy my life and the people around me who trusted me, and I needed to get it together. So if there's anything that I would say you must do is accept. You cannot do this alone. You need your family, you need your friends, but most importantly, you need you, and we need you to survive this, because yes, you've hurt people, but it's an amazing thing, the mind and short-term memory, how quickly people forget when you're doing the right thing, when you're going to treatment, when you say I'm sorry, when you put your life in order, and when you start picking up the pieces of the destruction and the hurricane or tornado. I would say I was a tsunami. I don't know what level you would call yourself. I was a tsunami. I just wiped it all out. And now I'm putting it together, and it's very difficult. I'm also dealing with my idiosyncrasies and my behavior. So it's a little challenging, because now I see, okay, I'm not that easy. Okay, I'm a little OCD. Okay, things have to be a certain way for me to be able to function. And plus I have a bad temper. And so all of these things. And then there's the big character flaw, which is arrogance. And oh my God, am I plagued with it? But sometimes I think that without a little arrogance, that's another one of the strengths that I have, because that has helped me to survive, because I want a certain standard of living, as I'm sure you do. And in order to have that standard of living, you have to get your head on straight and you have to move forward. So acceptance is so important and so key, because once you accept that you have a problem, you will accept help. You will accept that you need treatment. You will accept good advice, and you will understand some of the things that some of the steps necessary in order to move forward. So I beg you to understand that acceptance, I think, is key. And for after acceptance, you can move on to bigger and better places, which is the next one would be forgiveness. Um, Gosh, I'm still not 100% sure that I've forgiven myself 100%. I'm not sure I've forgiven the people who abandoned me when all this happened. I'm not sure I forgive. At first there were some days I was angry at God. I said, have I been such a horrible person that this should befall me? But I also realized that it's personal choice, personal responsibility. Once you choose to engage in, and I consider gambling for me an ultra hazardous activity, you assume the consequences. And my consequences were, you know, undergoing a metamorphosis into an addiction, because it doesn't happen overnight. It becomes a habit. Addictions are habits, things we do every day, and then they become compulsions, and then we can't even get away from them. I think that there's a turning point when I know when it was for me. I mean, when I couldn't leave a casino, I remember the day very clearly. I couldn't walk out of that casino and do something else because I felt the need to be there. I should have realized that I was sick. When I would spend 3 and 4 days at a time gambling straight without eating, I should have realized that something was wrong. Without sleeping, I should have realized that something was wrong. If you would come near me while I was gambling, oh my God, I turned into a tigress. Such aggression just because I didn't want to be pulled away from an activity. Something was wrong. So, I mean, I have to forgive myself so that I can move forward, because forgive myself for having behaved badly. Forgive myself for having done things that I probably would never have done. Forgive myself for lying, because, oh my God, the lies, I think I always thought that I would burn in the cannons of hell because of the lies that I told in order to continue to hide that I was a compulsive gambler, in order to get money, in order to do certain things, and the lies I told my poor parents who believed me. Forgiving yourself is very important. Forgive yourself for hurting your family, for worrying them. There were nights when my parents didn't know where I was and were praying that I was still alive. So, I mean, that's suffering. How do I make it up to my mom, who I probably took years off her life because she was worried, or my dad, or the people around me? So forgiveness is very important. Now, self-confidence. You have to have the confidence, that's the next topic, in yourself, in God, in your faculties, in your abilities, in your strengths to be able to move forward. If you don't have self-confidence, you won't be able to trust that you will overcome, that you will survive this. The confidence to say, you know what, I'm making this, I have accepted that I have this addiction. I am forgiving myself. And now I know that I have the confidence, just like I had the confidence to build this career, just like I had the confidence to buy this house, or just like I had the confidence to build a family, or confidence to complete my studies. I have the confidence to be able to do this. But I'll tell you, I don't know about you, but I know about me. I don't have another recovery in me. I have a confidence in that. My addiction was so destructive that I know that if I gambled again, it would be it for me, because I can't do it again. This recovery process, I have to tell you, recovery sucks. You need to know it, because knowing more about yourself, knowing why, you're never going to really know why you did it. You're just going to understand that you did it, and that you never want to do it again. I don't think that delving into all the issues that brought you together, my worst consequence from gambling was going to jail. I spent 2.5 years at Albion Correctional Facility in upstate New York, and then there was Taconic, the House of Horrors, and Bedford Hills, just the most horrible facilities. New York has the worst prison system in the world. They are it is so abusive. But just the most disgusting things that you have ever seen in your life, go to prison. I don't think I've ever met the faces of evil until I went to prison. I didn't know people, acted this way. And let me tell you, and it wasn't just the inmates. I don't even think it was the inmates. I received more charity from the inmates than I received from the supervision or correction officers at those facilities. So shame on you guys. But I forgive you. Because if I'm to move forward, I need to forgive all those people that thought that they would break me in this process. So let me tell you something. The next topic is strength. You have the strength to get through this. I got through it. I got through all those horrible people, mistreating me in Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, the maximum security facility in New York, with lifers, people who are going to be there forever, and, the dangers that entailed. I got through Albion. I got through Taconic, and you will get through this. Because, I mean, have you ever seen the strength of human existence? Have you ever tested your strength, how strong you are to overcome death, illness, insanity? I overcame prison, thank God. But and to overcome an addiction, it's almost like overcoming the devil himself, because you have to literally tear a portion of your will and control and tie it up and say, listen, no more. You have the strength to get through this. This series should give you the confidence to let you know what? I destroyed it all, but I can put it back together because I have the strength to do so, and God gives me the strength. And I hope that you believe in a higher power. I know people are higher power. I don't believe in God. I don't this. You need God. You will not survive this without God. I would never have survived it. My faith was when I was sentenced to 3 to 9. My faith was this big. I and I started to build it back very slowly, and I realized that was where I was getting this amazing strength to be able to move forward. That was where I was getting the strength to get up every day in that horrible place for 2.5 years. So I beg you to consider the spirituality of your existence and turn to God, because He will give you the strength to go forward. The next topic was spirituality, which I think I just covered. Trust in God. I was talking to some friends, to Bill and to Roberta, and Roberta laughed because she's Jewish. And I said to Bill, I learned a new word. It's beta home, and I spell it BETA, beta home. That's how I remember it in my head. So Roberta's laughing at the other end of the phone, and she said, no, it's beta home. It means trust in God. In Spanish is ten fe. Confía en Dios. In English, it is trust in God. Trust in God. Confía en Dios. Better home. I sit down in the morning, drink my tea, and I recite better home. Confío en Dios. I trust in God 100 times until it's here, and until in that day, I will practice it. Because when you trust in God, nothing is too difficult to overcome. When you trust in God, your family will gravitate towards you, because there is an amazing peace that overcomes you, because you know that you will move from point A to point B, and you will be on an ocean in a boat. You won't be deserted. You won't be swimming. You will be carried through this, because God is carrying us through. The next topic I would say is treatment. Treatment was very important for me, because treatment served to help me with the tools that I needed to practice so that I could get out of my bad habits, my character flaws, my behavioral flaws, my spiritual flaws, because I'm a flawed individual. I will admit it today like I'll admit it tomorrow. I have so many flaws, I can't even, I'll dig to the center of the earth and I still wouldn't uncover all the flaws that I have. But with treatment, these are professionals that will work with you, because we cannot do this alone. Work with you so that you can go through a process to disentangle yourself from what it is the addiction was. For instance, a person who gambles like myself, who used to gamble, if you'd get angry or you were tired of people, you just needed a break, you would run to a casino. Treatment tools help you understand that you can't run to a casino when you're super stressed. You have to deal with the situation, maybe take a break, put up barriers and boundaries so that you can stop the interference of this particular situation in your daily existence until you can figure out a solution. or these tools help you seek professional help so that you can solve these problems. These tools in treatment help you understand how this problem got so big. How did you owe this much money? You know what? You borrowed. How did you get to this number? Because you didn't pay attention. How did your relationship fail? Because you were with the wrong person. You made a bad choice. Someone in treatment, you're pulled back from your daily reality and you're able to examine. And there's nothing, I forget who it was who said that the unexamined life is not worth living. It is not. You must examine the technical mistakes that you do on a daily basis, or that you act out on a daily basis, so that you can solve some of the problems that continue to. Because if you keep eating ice cream, you're going to get fat. If you eat before you go to bed, you're going to get fat. If you continue scratching a wound, it's going to get infected because you're just scratching it and you're not doing anything about it. So treatment helps us put a little bit of salve on the wound, gives the wound a little bit of time to heal, and lets us understand that we cannot touch that wound, or that if we touch it, it is in a healing and healthy way. That's what treatment does for people who are in addictions. It pulls us out of the addiction and helps us separate the addicted individual with the functioning individual, which sometimes they're like this because we're such a mess. So addiction pulls us away and pulls the addiction this way, gets it out of the picture. So now we have this individual that has this flaw, this flaw, this flaw, this flaw, this flaw, and helps us deal with these flaws so that we're able to move forward. And it's not easy, because when you have to look at who you are and who you've become and the damage that you've done, it's very difficult. But it also gives you the tools to help you deal with this addiction and the consequences of an addiction on a daily basis. The next topic is solidarity. What is solidarity? Well, solidarity is when you become part of a group of people and you are solid. They help you, and they are your village. I remember when I was in Minnesota, they told me to create a village of good people around me, so that when an invader like my addiction decided to come back or decided to attack, this village wouldn't let the addiction in, wouldn't let my bad behavior in, wouldn't let me jump in the car and go south on the Jersey Turnpike. This village, this group of solidarity could be your GA, your NA, your AA group, could be your sponsor, could be your family, could be your wife, your husband, your children, people who know that you are addicted, who understand the flaw and the weakness that you have to this addiction for now, because you're going to reach a point where you're going to be like me. You can't drag me to a casino. I mean, it's so funny. You cannot drag me to a casino. And you cannot talk to me about gambling, because I would not be receptive to it. I suppose if you were an alcoholic and you had been through the consequences I've been through, you couldn't talk to me about another drink. So you will reach that point where and I don't even think about it. You will not even think about another drink. Right now, it seems incomprehensible that you could go from today to tomorrow without a drink or without a drug or without doping or smoking or whatever it is that overeating, whatever it is, but this group of people that you talk to, they will provide the solidarity that you need, that you want to be part of something, build some root, or grow some roots into the ground. So when I'll show it, and I'll use a pen, put some roots in the ground. So when the hurricane of your addiction comes, nobody can pull this. It can't be unrooted, because you have strong, solid solidarity. You have strong, solid anchors in the ground that no one will be able to tempt or try to persuade into some bad act or into your former addiction. I would say The next topic is one that I am definitely not an expert on, that I definitely need a lot of help on, and that I work through every day is patience. I have zero patience. I have zero patience, zero tolerance, and I want everything today. I want to be fine today. I want my license to practice law today. I want my life back today. I have no patience. I gain patience through daily meditation, which I sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And when I don't, I see the type of crazy day the day becomes because I haven't taken a time or taken a moment to not just meditate. Meditate for men may seem, oh, that's like a wussy thing to do. Meditate could just be sit, drink your cup of coffee, sit on that couch you see back there, sit right there, and just drink a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and just say, today's going to be a good day. Today, I'm going to use the tools that I've learned in all of these processes so that I can get better. And what are my challenges today? They say that 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. is God's hour. It's hard to get up at that hour, but for me, it is God's hour. I get up very early and I try to be 2 steps ahead of the devil, because he gets up. He's working 24 hours a day, and for that you need to have the patience to know that things are coming as they come, and everything's going to get better. I promise you that if you stop gambling, that if you stop doping, if you stop using drugs or alcohol or overeating or self-destructive behaviors, sexual, whatever it is, everybody's different, you will see things getting better. My sponsor, Richie, always says, he says, you will be the last one to see that you are getting better. Everybody else will see, oh my God, you're more patient, you're more tolerant, you're more available, because when you're gambling or drugging or whatever it is you do, you're never around. Your family is in love with you now because you're a better person. You think about them. You bring flowers. You surround yourself with good people. You laugh. You have a good attitude. And all of that comes with the patience and understanding that you have to go through steps 1 through 7 before you reach where you want to be. So for me, this has been a very difficult journey, but I had the faith in God, my better home, and I had a margin of patience, and now my patience level is bigger, but I still see that I have a very low tolerance for others. I'm working on that. The next one is understanding. You will reach a point where there is an understanding that I could never gamble again. You could never do whatever it is you did, whether it was drugs, alcohol, sex, overeating, whatever. But that you're going to reach a level of understanding, and that understanding is going to permeate your existence. It's going to help you calm down. It's going to help you have better relationships, and you're going to understand some of the reasons you did what you did and how you prevent this from happening in the future. The final one is overcoming. Gosh, you will overcome. I feel like I need to have one arm at somebody on one side and somebody on the other side, and we should be like this and chanting, we shall overcome. And it sounds so cliche, and it sounds so, so just like, you're like, oh God, we shall overcome. Oh my God, this person's preaching. I hate people who preach all the time. And I will not preach to you right now, but I will tell you, you shall overcome. You will get over this because you were spared. I believe God spared me. I'm not one of the 90% of us that commit suicide who are compulsive gamblers. I'm a survivor. You will survive this. You will survive because you need to help the next person. You will survive because your children need you. I survived because my family trusts that somewhere I would have found the strength, and that's through God, to be the person that I need to be and to make some changes in my life and to not let this happen to others. So let me tell you, let me end with this. You will overcome this. And this is the end of this series, of this part one of this 52-week journey that you and I will take together. Next week we'll talk about some of the stuff initially that I started, and I had my relapse in the beginning years ago, and this had to be my journey. I had to go to jail. I had to lose my professional license. I had to hurt, because I remember I used to cry rivers. I felt like I still feel sometimes, I could fill oceans with my tears. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be your journey. If you decide to pick up the pieces today, if you decide to move forward, this doesn't have to be your journey. My journey was very painful. I mean, I have been to the bowels of hell and back, and I will tell you that I have seen the faces of death, and I survived it. You will too. Trust in God. Thank you for watching and sharing this time with me. I hope that we, as a community, are part of our solidarity group and have created a union where we're together in this. I promise you that if you meditate daily, if you have to watch this video 100 times every morning just to get through your day, watch it. I'm praying for you. Let me be your rock through some of this. Let's get through this. For this week, moving forward, let us focus on accepting that we have an illness. On accepting today's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow, what is in my agenda? Get up and pray. Get out of bed by yourself in a corner on the floor. You don't need large surface areas for this. Go for a walk before you go to bed. Go to the gym if you can. Pray. Try to get in some prayer. And make sure that before you answer anyone, you step back and you meditate on what you're going to say. Before you react badly, step back. Let's make this week the week of stepping back, where before we give a bad response, we think of the consequences our responses are going to elicit. I know that I needed to work on patience. So I've been working on, what am I going to do for the rest of the day? I'm not trying to go through the week tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, jot down that I did this, and this. Oh my God, it's better than what I did Monday. Wednesday, what am I doing? Every day should be step by step by step. Get up in the morning, make an agenda, stick to it, move forward. Things that, I've had this week has been very challenging. I'll tell you in 30 seconds because this is only a 30-minute web series. I had to break up with someone who wasn't good for me. It was very difficult because I've been dating the person for 7 months, but he never changed. So I, being the very patient person that I am, 7 months, I tell you, was very patient. I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning. Today is Sunday. I said, "You good? I'm good. Do you have any clothes here?" Packed everything else, put his bag by the door and told him, "Come on, hurry up. Let's get you off to work, and can I have my keys back?" That's how I do it, Sometimes it's not the very best way I could solution the problem, but you know what? I had enough. I did it the Christian way. I did it the Catholic way. I did it the impossible way. I did it the treatment way, and it wasn't working. So I needed to, because I was getting depressed because I wasn't doing anything about it. I was feeling weak and vulnerable, and I'm a person of strength. You can't affect me too much. So that was my challenge for this week. So now I have to deal the rest of the week with doing things by myself, dinner by myself, and maybe taking this time alone and getting back accustomed to a life maybe without this person in it, and which I'm happy about that. But it's just getting accustomed to certain things. So I challenge you. What is in your life that maybe you need to separate from because it's no good? Whether it's a friend, who does drugs, whether it's a friend who drinks, whether a friend who gambles. You may have to make some changes. And thank you for listening. And I will see you. Thank you for listening. I will see you next Sunday. Same time, same station, same living room. Have a great one. And remember, I'm with you on this, so you're not alone.